Hello, today we are compiling Ghostscript 9.22 in a Linux environment. I've already, at this point, compiled it 5 or 6 times for the customer. I'm trying to work out a few issues and figure out where some files should be placed. This is not the first server I've built this version of Ghostscript on for this customer, so I'm pretty familiar with their layout. But I feel like the last builds that I did, the files are kind of scattered. So I wanted to go through and figure out exactly where the files needed to be. For example, where the bin files need to be, where the sbin files need to be, where the libraries need to be, etc. Also where the manuals need to be. I asked my team to let me know where they thought the manuals would go. And Bill said, user share man. Because things are a little different on Solaris, right? You got the user SFW or SWF directory where a lot of software is. So Ghostscript has a number of required dependencies. I've already installed most of the dependencies or all of the dependencies that you should need to build Ghostscript at this point. What I was unable to install with the package tool I installed using the source code of whatever dependency was, say gettext for instance. I downloaded the source for gettext and built it much in the same manner that I'm building Ghostscript. So if you want to get the dependencies via aptitude or get the dependencies via Yum or any other package management tool, you don't necessarily have to have use a package manager. In a lot of cases, I'm unable to because of customers' requirements. I can't download from the package manager or package repository. I have to install the software from the source by building it. So now you can see that I am checking around for where the manuals are. I found them in opt sfw man, and that is where I'm going to tell the compiler to put the man files for Ghostscript. Okay, so now I get ready, I go back through and I find my last configure command that I ran to configure the compiler, and I add the man setting to it to point to the man directory. Next, we'll take a look at the configure command in detail before we start the configuration. The configure command is used to configure the compiler before it builds. So we run configure with the basic prefix option that just says where we are setting the compiler to point to dump the files that we build. After the prefix, we stick the bin directory and the sbin directory on there for the binary files where they need to go. Then we add the lib directory for libraries. We add the local state directory for the state files like PID, etc. And we finally add the man directory that says where the manuals need to go. We hit enter and the configuration starts. This is where you're going to see any errors that pop up, any dependencies that you might be missing. That's how we know that we need to install something else, for instance. In this case, I've already done that. Everything should be installed. We can see the configuration is almost finished. Once it finishes and we don't have any errors, we're going to run make to actually compile the source code now that we have it configured the way we like it. Make all will compile all of the possible software options that we have. The compilation is going to take the longest, so we'll fast forward through the compilation while we wait on that. Don't be surprised sometimes the compilation takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. OpenSSL can take an hour or more to complete, especially if you do make all. The last step is to run make install. Make install will copy the files to the locations that you configured previously. It should be very quick, shouldn't take more than a few seconds. Once make install completes, you can see where the files go, and you should be able to check. So I run man gs to see if the man installed properly. It did, however, the man path is not set, so I verify that the files are there, and then I manually set the man path. Once the man path is set, I change the profile so that it will always be set. So the next time a user logs in, their man path will be loaded for them, and Ghostscript manuals will be available when they request them. Now, after the manual is working, I will verify that Ghostscript is in fact there and running the latest version, and it's on the path because I run Ghostscript without specifying a path --help. I see that the 9.22 files are loaded and everything's right. So I'm going to go through and edit that default profile file and change a few other things and tell the customer that we're done.